Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? A gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It's Tuesday morning. It is April 14th and it is 3:57 in the a.m. I want to talk a hot minute about the madness that ensued in this country yesterday. Y'all, I want to say MAGA is now getting upset. It didn't take the Epstein files. It didn't take the Melania news conference. It didn't take the outrage of tearing children away, just basically arresting children and deporting children. It didn't take all the money grabs. It didn't take the actual war that hasn't been declared. It didn't take, massive cover-ups. It took a picture of, well, not even a picture, a depiction of the Christ, the Messiah, the Savior. And here's what gets me. Everybody's hollering blasphemy, which goes beyond blasphemy for me. But nobody's commenting on the lie that accompanied the picture. I saw myself as a doctor. Man, get out of here with that. Go on with that. And for you folks who continue to say, I support him, because they had a brother, young white man, young Christian. And I say that with the cringy because everything that we've seen thus far is very unchristlike. So when I say Christian and I'm referring to MAGA, I cringe. Because as you recall, and those of you who are not familiar with history, the Klan was a white Christian nationalist organization. So when I say Christian and I'm referring to MAGA, I'm, in. They had a brother, I'm going to refer to him as a brother just out of, my own Christianity. Yesterday, say, I'm supposed to respect the leader. And I agree with a lot of his views, but this is blasphemy. So you draw the line there? Man, seriously, that's where you draw the line? That is the equivalent of, I was following orders. That thing that was used in Nazi Germany, that statement that was also used during the atrocities of the Vietnam War. I was just following orders. Some things, and I say this, with guarded optimism, some things when they pluck your moral vein, that's assuming you have one. are not to be followed. You know, the things that we're seeing right now indicate that we divorced our conscience as a people a long time ago. And you've heard me say, if you follow me, you've heard me say, I am by no means a pacifist. I can never be confused with a pacifist. Knowing who I am, that statement would never be spoken about me. What I am is a don't play with me and don't play in my face-a-fist. And if I can't correct it by conversation, best believe it will get corrected in a way that you won't like. That's who I am. But just following orders, that ain't happening. And I come from a long line of military folk. There at one point, God rest his soul, there was a brigadier general in my family. My father was a master sergeant in the military. So I am familiar with orders, and I can tell you it was my father's desire to have one of his children in the military. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have a cousin that went to West Point. So there is military throughout my family. And I can tell you, like I said, like I started before, I thought my father was going to die of a stroke early on when I told him. You know, when you're in school, or when I was in school, they had this recruiting process. Let me tell you about the bigoted racist system. It was assumed that children of color weren't college material, so the public schools were vocational schools, and each high school in different neighborhoods had a field of practice. Now, my first year of high school, I was in private school. I didn't like it, and they didn't like me because it was a rich, snooty, bougie kind of school. And, you know, my aunt made some moves to get me in there, and they let it be known, constant reminder, you know, you don't belong here. And I don't have the temperament to deal with that kind of BS. So I transferred to public school for my sophomore year. And my focus of my major was drafting and design. But I can tell you, in that first year of high school, I really didn't have to work that hard on academics for the remainder 3 years because I learned it more than enough in that first year. That's the level of education that folks received in public school. Yeah, you heard me correctly. But in your senior year, it's when, you know, school starts scouting because I was active in sports, and also the military comes around. And I told my father at that time, I am claiming CO status. And for those of you who don't know what CO status is, it's conscientious objector. I'm not fighting anybody who I don't have beef with. And guess what? I don't have the temperament to follow orders either. So, for me, all the folks who are outraged now, just now, shame on you.